We all have heroes. People we look up to. People we want to be like. People we want to be. However, most of the time, if we are honest with ourselves, we have very little in common with our heroes. But what if there were people like us in the Bible? People who made mistakes, messed up, didn't always get it right, but really wanted to. What if they were people, just like me?
All right, all those truths that we just sang, and the reality that we just partook in a meal that we will partake with once again with our King, right? Makes us homesick, right? Wow, yeah. I was kind of ready. I thought I was ready for the song again because we've done it, since Saturday night, and even I had heads up that we were going to do it, but it was like, wow, man, just powerful. And it just kind of all just kind of leads us where we're going today. It's just this idea that we're gonna. Last week we talked about somebody who was a runner, somebody that was running away from God, right? Jonah. I think today really we could label this lady as somebody who runs or running to God, or at least trying to find who God is. In this journey we've been on, and these characters that we've been talking about, that we can find some things that we can really relate to. In Jonah, we've all have places in our lives that we just want to run away from, and to try to hide from God, and He has things for us to do that we struggle with, and today we find somebody in the Bible who is actually seeking. They have questions. I think they're really seeking the truth, the one true living God, and the reality of that. And when we talk about this lady today, her name is, it's just addressed as Queen of Sheba. Okay, and in prep for last week, I stumbled upon this passage that I'm going to read to you this morning, and it's Jesus. He's having these interactions with the religious leaders, and they're not great. They're not great interactions. They during this time they're actually just proving that they're rejecting Him as the Messiah, and we see throughout His life, even His birth, right? We see all these things that point, like in throughout the Old Testament, all the fulfilling of the prophecies, right? From Jesus' birth, where it will take place, how it will take place, to who will come and honor that, to to all the way into His ministry when He's healing people. He's doing these miraculous things, and He's not just doing them just to to try to straighten out what's wrong, although that's great, isn't it? But in that case, if God was really trying to trying to straighten out all that was physically wrong with everybody, why didn't everybody get healed, right? Well, it was with a purpose. It was with a bigger purpose. Every time Jesus did something, He was saying loud and clear, the kingdom of heaven has come. Here it is. The Messiah is here. I'm here standing before you. And so as He's done all this, this is the answer this is the question that all the Pharisees and religious leaders pose. It starts in Matthew chapter 12. I'm going to start at verse 38, and it says, some of the Pharisees and teachers of the law said to Him, Teacher, we want to see a sign from you. He answered, a wicked and adulterous generation asks for a sign, but none will be given except the sign of the prophet Jonah. For Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of the huge fish. So the Son of Man will be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. And the men of Nineveh will stand up at the judgment with this generation and condemn it. For they repented at the preaching of Jonah, and now something greater than Jonah is here. Oh, wow. This would have been earth-shattering. This would have been shocking. It would have been a bit offensive to them, because have you ever felt like an outsider? I remember, when I would hear things, this was like before the internet, right? When you heard about things like way after they happened, right? Group of friends got together, did something. And my group of friends, mainly, we got together and we caught things on fire. It was bad, but we heard about it, and I heard about it later, and I wasn't invited. It was like, okay, am I not part of the pyro crew anymore? What's going on, right? It does something to you in the inside, doesn't it? It does something to you, But on a bigger spectrum, right? Do you know? We have all found ourselves on the outside, especially with God. Okay? And the reality that God has planned and from the beginning, before the beginning of time, planned that He was going to make outsiders insiders, right? Through Jesus. This is the truth that we live. We get to live today. And if you're on the outside looking in right now, and you're looking at this Jesus thing, let me just tell you, you probably heard it before, but Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. There is no other way. Okay? You want real peace. You want real rest. You want real camaraderie. It is the only way. And so Queen Sheba was an outsider who had questions. And she came with her questions. And we see throughout this, just in what Jesus has said so far. It's like Nineveh could not have been any more of an outsider. Like this is what Jonah was struggling with, right? He struggled with it even after he preaches the most impactful sermon that the Bible ever describes. The city that was almost 1 million people is said they turned from their ways and they repented and they accepted God. It's amazing, right? And so for Jesus to say this is like, and guess what? The people you think are outsiders, they're actually going to rise at the judgment and condemn you, right? Because you're a wicked generation that has seen the one true living God in person and the embodiment of Jesus, and you've rejected Him. Okay? He's going to go on. He goes on, verse 42 says, the Queen of the South. This is the Queen of Sheba. This is who he's talking about. All right? And this is going to lead into where we're going. It's like, Rob, okay, hurry up. Lunch is coming. Rise up, the judgment of this generation, and condemn it as well. She came from the ends of the earth to listen to Solomon's wisdom, and now something greater than Solomon is here, right? It's like, okay. All right. Then he goes on to talk about these impure spirits. An impure spirit comes out of a person, and it goes through the rise, place, seeks, and does, but it does not find. Then it says, I will return to the house I left, and when it arrives, it finds the house unoccupied, swept, cleaned, and in order. And it goes and takes with it 7 other spirits, more wicked than itself, and then they go and live there. The final condition of that person is worse than the first. That is how it will be with this wicked generation. They were like, what? So somebody, when we read that, it's like, what are they talking about? Spirits there coming in and out? Jesus is saying, listen, you can get a lot right in your life. He's talking directly to these Pharisees who lived the law, who felt like they had it all figured out, they had it right. He says, man, you're empty on the inside. You're empty on the inside. And let me just tell you that something will come and indwell that empty space. If it's not God, it will be something. And if it's not God, it will be worse than it was before. So it's this vivid warning that he gives them. And he uses these outsiders to deliver the news, right? Queen of Sheba she came from Ethiopia. It was like, what? Yeah, she came from Africa. And to seek out something that she had heard about, right? This truth, she had legitimate questions. And so many of us, Many of us at different times have felt on the outside, whether it's with friends, whether it's spiritually. And let me tell you that and if you don't, maybe you don't right now, and you've been on the inside. And the danger of being on the inside for a long time is that sometimes you forget to look for other outsiders. Sometimes it's just like, okay, I'm on the inside, that's all that matters now. But our lives, we live our lives in a way that we leave the door cracked open so light can shine through and people can see, and they can have curiosity about how and why we live the way we do. And so in 1 Kings chapter 10, I'm going to start at verse 1. And I just want to read you the account that this queen has with the king of Solomon. Now, before we do this, let me just tell you, let me remind you, the king of Solomon is this king, and he was David's son. Okay? David was this great king of Israel. He was a warrior. You think of all of it, the giant and all of it, right? And but God told, listen, you're going to build the temple. It's going to, and David's, no, it's not going to be me. It's going to be my son. I've got blood on my hands, right? And so he sets his son up for this, right? And God comes to Solomon and he says, hey, what is it that you want from me? Wouldn't you like God to come to you and say, what is it that you want from me? What is it? And his answer was spot on. He said, give me a discerning heart. God, would you give me a discerning heart that I may govern your people rightly? Shouldn't we make every politician make that pledge, right? God, give me a discerning heart, right? That I may govern, do my job, right? Right? And God gives him that. Says, okay, because you didn't ask for money, you didn't ask for your enemies, you didn't ask for anything else, you asked for wisdom, I tell you what I'm going to give you. And it reminds us of what Jesus said in Matthew chapter 6, verse 30, right? Seek first the kingdom of God, and then all these other things will be added unto you, right? And this is where King Solomon arrives. So no other place in history, the time of history, has there been something like this place. That it was the richest, most healthy, most productive place there has ever really seen or been. And it'll never be like that since. It said there was so much gold at Solomon's disposal that they didn't even count the silver. Think about that. They didn't even consider it a precious commodity. They said they treated it like a stone. Think about that. That's like, man, tell me more. Okay, and so what's happening here gets the world's attention, right? And this queen, she shows up. Listen to this. It says, when the Queen of Sheba heard about the fame of Solomon and his relationship to the Lord. Now listen, pay attention to that. It wasn't just the stuff. It wasn't just the building projects. It just wasn't the economy. It just wasn't. It was his relationship with the Lord. She came to test Solomon with hard questions. Arriving at Jerusalem with a very great caravan, with camels carrying spices, large quantities of gold, precious stones, she came to Solomon and talked with him about all that she had on her mind. Sometimes you just need to unload, don't you? And she did. But she came seeking the truth. She had questions. You are around people all the time that have questions, that are seeking something of significance. Are you living in a way that gets their attention? Right? And it's interesting, if you've ever ridden a camel, you know why people choose horses. They put a hump on it to deter you from getting on the camel. And she would have traveled with a great caravan that would have been of thousands of people. The amount of gold that they're carrying, it was in the tons. Okay? Think about this, okay? It's crazy to think about. So when she arrives, it is no small thing. like two billionaires coming together, right? It's like the meeting of the royalty or whatever. It's like they can make a some sort of a show that we would sit down and watch about this stuff. And so she comes, and it says, she comes, and he answers, the king answers and explains to her. And it says, Solomon answered her questions. Nothing was too hard for the king to explain to her. When the queen of Sheba saw all the wisdom that Solomon and the palace that he had built, the food on his table, the seating of his officials, the attending of his servants in their robes, his cupbearers, the burnt offerings he made at the temple of the Lord. Keep that, underline that. That he made at the temple of the Lord, she was overwhelmed. She said to the king, "The report I've heard from my own country about the achievements in your wisdom is true. But I did not believe these things until I came and saw them with my own eyes." This is what the world's looking for, guys, is to see it with their own eyes. "Indeed, not even half was told to me. In the wisdom and wealth that you have far exceeded the report that I heard. How happy are your people must be. How happy your officials who continually stand before you and hear your wisdom. Praise be to the Lord your God, who has delighted in you and placed you on the throne of Israel. Because of the Lord's eternal love for Israel, he made you king to maintain justice and righteousness." She gave the king 120 talents of gold, great commodities of spices, precious stones. Never again had there been so many spices brought to those that Queen Sheba, the Queen of Sheba, gave to King Solomon. So think about this for a second. She doesn't come empty-handed. It actually costs her. It actually costs her. She doesn't do this trip begrudgingly. You know why we know that? Because if she did, she would have sent an ambassador. She would have sent an entourage of people that she trusted to speak upon her behalf. But she didn't. She shows up herself. This is big. This heightens the seriousness of the encounter, right? Because we've all been there, right? We've all had to meet with somebody that is like second in command or third in command or whatever it is, right? Here it is, but she comes with like 5 tons of gold. Think about that, and more's coming on ships later, with precious stones, with precious wood that will be used in the temple and in his palace. Listen, if you're going to seek the truth, it'll cost you. It will. And if you find it, if you find the truth, it'll actually cost you everything. It's like somebody finding a great pearl or a hidden treasure in a piece of property. And they go away and they sell everything to acquire it. Right? This is the fruition of the outsider. If you're on the inside, you know the story. You're there. But she's come bringing gifts. And he gives her way more than she gives him. Like physically, right? She, like it says in there, it's like, yeah, he even got out of his own treasury and gave to her. And you think of the depth of the reality of her, just her seeking this. Think about this, because let me just read to you David's prayer as he's getting ready to die. He prays this over his son. This is also in 1 Kings chapter 2. Okay? Listen to this. "I'm about to go the way of the earth," he said. This is David. "So be strong and act like a man. And observe the Lord your God, what your Lord your God requires. Walk in obedience to him and keep his decrees and commands, his laws and regulations, as it's written in the law of Moses. So that you may prosper in all you do and wherever you go. Okay? I don't know about you. I want to pray that over my kids before I die, right? I want my dad to pray that over me before he dies. That's awesome stuff. And this is where he's set up. This is where, we're actually kind of talking about two people at the same time here. We're talking about this queen and we're talking about this king, King Solomon, right? And as he did this, God all along, not just in the New Testament, but God all along had said that this will be a blessing for all people. Not just those who think they're on the inside. Not just the Jewish nation, which God called them out very specifically, said, I will be your God and you will be my people. But I'm sending somebody who is going to make everybody, or at least give them the opportunity, to give everybody the opportunity to be an insider. And it's Jesus. That's who it is. Isaiah 60 says this, nations will come to your light and kings to the brightness of your dawn. Right? The Queen of Sheba had heard about a king who worshiped a God that was none like anything she had ever experienced. And he had blessed a place unlike any other place on the face of the earth. And so God has always been about the outsider. 1 Kings chapter 8. King Solomon prays part of this prayer. I'm going to read part of it to you. And it said that he did this on his knees. This impressed the queen, because kings and queens, well, they don't worship. They are worshipped, aren't they? Isn't that what we want? We want our own kingdom. We want our own worshipers. And this is the battle that goes on. Jesus came to turn it all around and remind us God himself is taking a place, well, of great humility. And so 1 Kings says this, it says, when the prayer and the pledge is made by anyone among the people of Israel, being aware of the afflictions of their own heart and spreading out their own hands toward the temple, they hear from heaven and their dwelling place, forgive and deal with everybody according to what they all do. Since you know their hearts, for you alone know every human heart, so that they will fear you all the time and live in the land you've given your ancestors. As for the foreigners, or you could say the outsiders, who does not belong to your people Israel, but has come from a distant land because of your name, for they will fear your great name and your mighty hand and your outstretched arm. And when they come and pray towards this temple, then hear from heaven your dwelling place. Do whatever the foreigner asks of you, so that the people of the earth may know your name and fear you, as do your own people Israel, and may know that this house I have built bears your name. Right? And then Jesus is going to come and say, what? The temple is what? Is you. Is me. And we bear his name. Right? We live in such a way that the outsider can be an insider and see what's happening. Right? Jesus said it this way in Matthew 5. You are a light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on a stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. Right? So let me ask you this. I'm going to ask the band to make their way up. If someone were to travel a great distance and they were to meet you, what would be their conclusion? How are you living your life? Would they look at your life and go, whoa, this guy lives like a king, but yet he bows down to the real king? Would they see somebody that they were curious about, who lived their life in a way it's like, man, I wonder why they do that with their time. I wonder why they pray before a meal. I wonder why they give of their money. I wonder why they stop and listen to those that nobody stops and listens to or even cares about. Are you living your life in such a way that people can see that you are an authentic worshiper, an insider with Jesus? Because that's the beauty of it all. Because believe it or not, we've all been on the outside, right? You remember that day? Jesus tells the story of the shepherd that leaves the 99 on the hill to go do what? Find you. Find me. Right? He's still in that business. Maybe you're out there wandering around. This might be your day. I don't know. Here it goes, though, but here it is. You think about the whole picture. Can you believe 11 weeks? It's like 11 weeks. It's going to be Christmas. It's like, what did you just say? That little nativity state you're going to get out, you're going to put up somewhere? That whole thing is full of outsiders. The whole thing. Those guys that came, those kings that came, they weren't Jewish. From some other culture and religion. They followed the star. That's kind of an odd way to get somewhere. To come and worship and pay homage to the one true king. Outsider. Those shepherds, yeah, they were insiders because they were Jewish. But they were the lowest on the totem pole, guys. They weren't allowed to go to church. They were considered dirty old shepherds. And yet they heard the news first. And they came. You think about the two people that are integral in the story. Joseph and Mary, who would have just been a blink in history. No one would have ever thought of them again. Because of, well, they were really outsiders. But God made it very clear from the beginning. Oh, it's about the outsider who can be on the inside. And if you're an insider, make sure that you're looking for outsiders, right? So let's stand and let's sing. I love this song. Let's stand of our heart.
Before I spoke a word, you were singing over me. You've been so, so good to me. Before I took a breath, you breathed your life in me. You have been so, so kind to me. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99. And I couldn't earn it, and I don't deserve it. Still you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. When I was your foe, still your love for for me. You've been so, so good to me. When I felt no worth, you paid it all for me. You have been so, so kind to me. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I valleys of 99. And I couldn't earn it, and I don't deserve it. Still you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. No shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, and lie you won't tear down, coming after me. Father God, thank you. Thank you for loving us so much that you came after us when we were lost. Thank you for your word today that teaches us that you want us. And Lord, I just pray that this week that we can live lives that are so evident that we love you, that people will notice, that they'll have questions, that they'll be drawn to you because of what you've done through us. And so, Lord, I just pray that we can live that light, let that light just shine, live it out this week. And we'll give you praise for all of it in Jesus' holy name. Amen. Have a great day. Open up the heavens.